inhale, visualize light and energy flowing from the base of the spine, rising up through the spine to the crown of the head, letting that energy flow out, surrounding you with a peaceful, protective aura. As you exhale, draw the energy in and down to ground you, connect you. Long, deep, powerful breath through the nose, mouth is closed. Inhaling, drawing that light and energy up and out, let it radiate within you. Exhaling, drawing it in and down to ground you, connect you. Bandha, root lock in place as you know it, anchoring the base of the spine, grounding the lower three chakras, helping to strengthen the pelvic floor. Listen to the breath, feel the breath. As you inhale, feel the expansion of the belly, expansion of the rib cage, chest, the lungs, breathing up into the throat, up into the tips of the nostrils. As you fill yourself fully and deeply with the breath, you may want to hold the breath in, letting that prana, that energy radiate, circulate. When you're ready to release the breath onto yourself completely, pulling the navel in, you can hold it the breath out, stilling the body, stilling the mind. Letting the breath warm you, energize you. As you bring the attention to the sound and the feel of the breath, let the mind become clear and focused. As you begin to awaken the energy, you may bring the attention to the third eye point, center of the forehead above the brow point, center of insight, intuition, illumination. As you bring the awareness to the third eye point, the chakra, Atma chakra, finding that light, your own inner light, connection to spirit, spark of that divine wisdom, divine energy within you. Next inhalation, take the breath in fully, deeply. As you hold the breath in, keep stretching up, straighter, taller, as if you could lift yourself right up off of the floor. Stretching up as you exhale. Holding the breath out, pull the navel back, lift the diaphragm, hollowing the belly. If you're not comfortable, relax the breath. Inhale. As you relax the breath, up the hands behind the head and neck, fingers centered legs. Long, deep breathing through the nose, mouth is closed, inhaling into the belly, up into the chest and lungs as you lift and expand the rib cage. Exhaling, pulling the navel in. You can work the long leg or crossed leg. You can rest the arms down anytime you need to or want to. Inhalation, stretch up with the arms, up with the spine. As you relax the breath, touch the arms straight out in front of you, parallel over the floor. Long, deep breathing, trying to lift up the heart center. Sometimes as you pull the arms forward, the chest collapses. Try to lift up with the spine, lift the heart center. You can try to turn the inner elbows up toward the ceiling, opening the shoulders a little more. Lengthening through the upper back, outer shoulders, you stretch up with the spine. We'll start here with the straight arms. If it gets to be too much strain, you can bring the hands behind the head and neck. Inhale, arms stretch up, reach back, face turns up, move the navel forward, give yourself a gentle back bend. Exhale, pull the arms out over the floor, chin to the chest, spine relaxing back. Inhale, stretch up, reach back, move the navel forward, open the shoulders back. Exhale, pull the arms over the floor, chin to the chest, spine relaxing back, lengthening at the back of the neck, broadening across the upper back. If this is too much strain here with the straight arms, you can bring the hands behind the head and neck. Now open the shoulders back, lift the head and chest. Exhale, chin going toward the chest, elbows coming toward each other at the front. Just being aware of areas of tightness or holding in the spine and shoulders, relaxing, releasing with the movement and the breath. Some of you work more rapidly, others more slowly, your own comfortable pace. No matter how quickly or slowly you are working, strong, thoughtful breath through the nose, mouth is closed, trying to hear the sound of your own breath. Inhaling, reaching up and back, exhaling, reaching forward. Your right head, slow it down. If you're uncomfortable, rest out. And a strong, powerful breath will warm and energize the body, clear and focus the mind, and help strengthen the nervous system. With a strong, powerful breath, you can apply a tongue mudra, tip of the tongue pressing into the back of the lower teeth of the gum line, a little more grounding and inward focus. Also helping to facilitate the energy flow to the nadis and meridians, those subtle energy channels. Focus the mind a little more. You can have simple mantra with the rhythm of the breath and the motion of the body. One simple mantra. So as you inhale, Nam as you exhale. Sat is truth. Nam is name, essence, identity. Mantra to open the mind for insight, helping us to identify what is truthful. A simple mantra, Om as you inhale, Shanti as you exhale. Om, that sound symbolizes the creative universal spirit. Shanti, the spirit of peace. Other mantras, one is love, Christ, love. You may have your own mantra. You may want to focus on the sound of the breath. As you work more quickly, the mantra Sat Nam can be broken down into Sat Nam. One syllable for each movement, each breath. In that form, the mantra symbolizing birth, life, death, rebirth, all part of that endless energy cycle we're connected to. Long, thoughtful breath, rest that as you can, rest that as you need to. Inhale, stretch up. Relax the breath. Long, deep breathing through the nose, mouth is closed, slowing down the breath, slowing down the heartbeat. You bring the hands behind the head and neck if the shoulders are uncomfortable. You bring the chin at the chest, the strain in the neck. Mula Bandha in place, thanking you as you stretch up. Long, deep breathing through the nose, mouth is closed, inhaling into the belly, up into the chest and the lungs as you lift and expand the rib cage. Exhaling, pulling the navel in. Next inhalation, stretch up with the arms, up with the spine. Relax the breath, let the arms come down around behind the back, arms shoulder width apart, bring your point away from you as you lean back into the arms and hands. The strain in the wrist, come up lightly into the fingers. You can stretch the legs out if the knees or ankles are uncomfortable. Shoulders open back, lift up with the chest and upper back, chin forward for strain in the neck. You can stay here as you lift and open the spine, hips grounded for a little more weight into the arms and hands as you lift the hips coming to the knees. If that's too much strain, just bring the hips back down. If you're opening the neck, you might lift the chin, opening the throat as you relax the head back. Breathing through the nose, mouth is closed, long deep breathing, inhale belly fills, exhale navel center draws in, or breath up fire, strong rapid continual breath from the navel center. Fairly difficult breath, so don't worry about it, just go with a long deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, bring the chin to the chest, lower the hips down. Next inhalation, as you fill yourself with breath, stretch up with the arms, up with the spine, hold the breath in as you move down the back. Rotate to the left as you relax the breath, lengthening, turning, trying to bring the arms back. You can work a long leg or cross leg here. From here, right arm reaching across for the left upper leg, left arm coming around as you stretch up and rotate. You're leaning forward, push down into the floor, looking up and over the left shoulder. With a straight spine, you might bring the back of the left hand against the back and slide the arm around the waist. And at lotus or half lotus, you can experiment, lean forward over the foot or leg, or try to bring the foot up toward the hand to see where you are. And not so important where you're reaching, come up with a straight spine, left shoulder opening. Long, deep Ujjayi breath, whispering in and out against the back of the throat. Listen to the breath, feel the breath. Inhale, lengthening, turning a little more. Exhale, unwinding back to the center. Inhale, stretch up with the arms, up with the spine, hold the breath in as you move the arms back. Rotate to the right as you relax the breath. Lengthening, turning, trying to bring the arms back. From here, left arm reaching across the right upper leg, right arm coming around as you stretch up and rotate. Hand on the floor for leverage, or back of the hand against the back as you slide down around the waist. Right shoulder opening, long, deep Ujjayi breath, visualizing the energy spiraling up and down the spine as you breathe. Inhale, lengthening, turning a little more. Exhale, unwinding back to the center. Inhale, stretch up the arms, up the spine, hold the breath in as you move down the back. Lengthen the side bend to the right as you relax the breath. Face turns up to the left. You can work long leg or cross leg, lengthening from the sitting bones of the fingertips. Even as your side bending to the right, so trying to lengthen through the right side of the body, and trying to rotate the chest up toward the ceiling, or thinking about rotating up toward the ceiling. Inhale, back up to the center. Relax the breath as you lengthen the side bend to the left. Face turns up to the right. Lengthening from the sitting bone to the fingertips. Lengthening through both sides of the body. Inhale back up to the center. Relax the breath as you bring down. You rest the hands on the legs and roll out the shoulders. Forward and backward a few times in each direction. Releasing out the neck and roll the chin across the chest in half circles. If you are feeling open in the neck, large circles with the head and neck. Gentle rhythmic motion a few times in each direction. And from here we'll come to the hands and knees. You can stretch the legs out and come up. Some of you might push off the floor or reach forward and roll over the knees, unwinding the feet. If you come up directly to the knees, just look out for anyone behind you as you stretch the legs out, shake them out, rotate the ankles. A few breaths here. You can push down into the floor, arching up with the spine. One shoulder width apart, fingers pointing straight ahead, and then try to turn the inner elbows forward, so keeping the wrists in neutral, fingers pointing straight ahead, inner elbows forward, open the shoulders and chest. There's a tendency to sag between the shoulders or elbows to come out, just straight, strong arms. Deep breathing here as you push down into the floor, arching up, opening the space between the vertebrae at the back, chin to the chest, lengthening at the back of the neck. Bottom of the pelvis moving forward, top of the pelvis up, flattening, lengthening the lower back. Anytime you need to rest out along the way, you can always drop the hips to the heels into a child's pose. A little more work with the breath, working into the spine with the cat-cow movement. Inhale, drop the belly and lift the head. Exhale, arch the back, chin to the chest, straight, strong arms, movement coming out of the spine. Inhale, drop the belly and lift the head. Exhale, arch the back, chin to the chest. And starting fairly slowly, fluid, rhythmic motion. If you're comfortable, you can work a little faster. In a strong, powerful breath, Mula Bandha and tongue mudra in place. Attention to the third eye point if you're feeling fairly open. Squat down if you're lightheaded. Drop the hips back onto the heels into a child's pose if you're not comfortable. Great strong arms pressing into the floor, strong, powerful breath. Inhale, drop the belly down, lengthen the neck up. Stretching here as you exhale. Inhale. Exhale, arch the spine up, chin to the chest, pull the navel up, lift the diaphragm, hollowing the belly. If you're not comfortable, relax the breath. Stay here as you inhale. Exhale. Hold the breath out, suck the navel up, lift the diaphragm, hollowing the belly. Inhale. Just relax the breath, drop the belly and lift the head. Long, deep breathing through the nose, mouth is closed, slowing down the breath, slowing down the heartbeat. Arm shoulder width apart, and you're pointing straight ahead as you turn the inner elbows forward, opening the shoulders and chest. Pushing down into the floor, lifting up with the heart center, chin up, opening the throat. Top the pelvis moving down, back the pelvis up, taking you more into the lower back. As you bring your attention to the third eye point, there may be a sense of light, colors, tingling in the head. Be aware of that energy. Inhale, stretch a little more. Relax the breath, arch up with the spine. Long, deep breathing as you push down into the floor, arching up, opening the space between the vertebrae at the back. Strong pelvic tilt, bottom of the pelvis moving forward, top of the pelvis up, flattening, lengthening the lower back. Yeah, stretch a little more. Relax the breath, level the spine, head comes up, feet off the floor, swing the head, hips and feet to the right. C-shaped curve, curving to the right, lengthening at the left side of the neck as you look over your shoulder or toward the hips. Trying to move the rib cage more to the left, lengthening more over the outer side of the body. Inhale, lengthen a little more. Relax the breath as you swing the head, hips, and feet to the left, moving the rib cage to the right. Inhale, lengthen a little more. Relax the breath, back to the center, again arching up with the spine. From here, you bring the hands back to the knees and come up to tall on the knees. You might want to just shake out the wrists as well after the weight bearing on the hands and knees. As we go into a back bend with the Strasana camel pose, just go easy this time of morning. Lower back will be a little stiff. We'll go 2 times. First time short holding, second time a little longer. Thighs about parallel to each other. Palms of the hands against the lower back and upper gluteals supporting the spine. Chin to the chest to protect the neck. Let the elbows come toward each other, opening the shoulders, opening the heart center. Begin to move the hips and navel forward. You don't have to go far before you feel the lower back come in. You might begin to feel that lengthening over the attachments to some of the hip flexors, rectus femoris, long quadriceps, and then some of the deeper muscles. So you can stay here for a little more. Palms of the hands against the backs of the thighs as you roll the fingers in, opening the shoulders back. If you're comfortable there, you might lift the chin, opening the throat as you let the head relax back. Some of you might just let the arms hang back behind you. You can try to turn the palms outward, opening the shoulders a little more. If you're dropping the hips back to the heels, come up, move the hips forward. Just open the shoulders back, open the arms out. Just a few breaths here, back out. Make sure you can breathe freely and deeply. Out the first time, hands to the lower back supporting the back, chin to the chest to protect the neck, and hips onto the heels, arms at the sides are stretched out in front of you. And long, deep Ujjayi breath, breathing away tension and tightness, letting the spine lengthen and relax. If there's tension in the neck, you can gently turn the head and neck from side to side. Touching one ear down toward the floor and then the opposite ear. To go a second time, hands come back to the knees as you bring yourself up to tall on the knees. So we'll stand a little longer the second time. Just come out as you need to or want to. And hands to the low back supporting the back, chin to the chest, protect the neck. Let the hips and navel move forward. Shoulders come back, elbows come toward each other, moving the navel forward and up as you move the hips forward. You can stay there a little more. Back to the hands, palms of the hands against the backs of the thighs. So roll the fingers in, shoulders back. And I lift the chin as you open the throat, head relaxing back. Comfortable, arms hang back. I turn the palms out. Reach toward the inner ankles. When you're ready to come out, hands and low back supporting the back, chin to the chest to protect the neck, the hips to the heels. Staying here for a short while, breathing through the nose, mouth is closed, long deep breathing or breath of fire. Inhale, as you relax the breath, hands to the low back supporting the back, chin to the chest, protect the neck, and hips onto the heels, arms to the sides or stretched out in front. Gently turn the head and neck from side to side, tension in the neck, you can shrug the shoulders up and down around the ear. Stay here, or going on a little more lengthening over the back of the body after the back bend. You can come up to the hands and knees. And the left knee moves forward as the right leg opens out behind you. You start by sitting on the heel. If you're comfortable, you might come off the heel. If you shifted way over to the left, let's come up into the arms or up onto the foot. And relaxing out over the floor. Some of you might have the left heel pressing into the attachments, some of the hip flexors on the right side of the pelvis at the front. Going easy on your knees or anywhere else. You might be up off of the floor. You might begin to relax the elbows and forearms down. Not so important, just wherever you're comfortable, relaxing, lengthening over the left outer hip, right hip flexors and lower back. Move into a type of a spinal twist from here. Right arm stretches out in front of you. You might be up off of the floor. You might rest the right ear down onto the arm as you relax toward the floor. Back of the left hand against the back, sliding the arm around the waist, reaching over toward the floor on the right or your foot. Head turning up to the left, face turning up toward the ceiling. Left shoulder opening back, trying to bring the left side of the pelvis down toward the floor. Inhale, open a little more. Relax the breath, coming back to the center. Hands under the shoulders, lift up. Bring the left knee back to join the right. Arching up with the spine. Arm pelvic tilt. To the other side, the head comes up. Right knee forward, left leg opening back. You can sit on the heel if you're comfortable. You come off the heel, relaxing out over the floor, lengthening over the right outer hip, left hip flexors and lower back. spinal twist, the left arm stretching out, head turning to the right, back to the right hand against the back as you slide the arm around the waist. The right shoulder opening, face turning up toward the ceiling, right side of the pelvis moving toward the floor. Inhale, open a little more. Relax the breath, coming back to the center. Hands under the shoulders, lift up. Right knee back to join the left. Marching up with the spine. Resting out into child's pose anytime along the way you need to or want to. Inhale, stretch up a little more. As you relax the breath, you can drop the belly and lift the head. So as we go on here, you can rest out or modify. From here, right leg comes up behind you. Lifting the head and chest, lifting the right leg, with both hands on the floor, look up and over the right shoulder, right leg up and across, right side of the pelvis moving back. You stay here, working on your balancing. You might bring the back of the right hand against the lower back. You might reach back toward the foot or leg, even if you do not find anything. Some of you will bring the palm down against the outer ankle or palm up against the inner ankle as you open the leg back and up, opening the hip and shoulder. Relax the breath, bring the right hand and knee to the floor, arching up with the spine. Yeah, stretch a little more. Relax the breath, again drop the belly and lift the head. And to the other side, the left leg comes up behind you. Both hands on the floor, looking up and over the left shoulder, left leg up and across, left side of the pelvis moving back. Stay here, a little more, back to the left hand against the lower back, and reaching back, palm down against the outer ankle or palm up against the inner ankle, opening the leg back and up, opening the hip and shoulder. Inhale, and relax the breath. Left hand and knee to the floor, working up with the spine. Strong pelvic tilt after the back bend. Bottom of the pelvis moving forward, top of the pelvis up. Yeah, stretch up a little more. And relax the breath, level the spine, head comes up. Right knee up toward the chest. You might slide the right leg forward between the arms and the hands, or you can swing the leg out around in front of you. The right leg forward, the left thigh straight up and down under you. Heel on the floor, sole of the foot coming down. So if you're bending the knee to reach the floor, come to the fingertip. If you're still bending the knee, come up onto the leg or hips or waist. And inhale, stretch up with the spine, chin up, lengthening the neck, opening the throat. Relax the breath, forward bend out over the right leg. And not important where you're going here, just focusing on that lengthening of the hamstrings, back of the right leg, outer hip and lower back. You can stay here as long as you like, moving into a lunge. Lift up away from the right leg. With the right knee, move forward as you drop the left thigh down toward the floor. If there's strain in the knee, you can line the knee over the ankle. Some of you will move the hips forward, keep the heel grounded. So the focus is the front of the left leg, trying to drop the thigh down, opening the hip flexors. You can steady yourself with the hands on the floor. You can push against the knees and looking up toward the ceiling. If you're steady, arms come up, shoulders back, hips settling down, spine stretching up. Long, deep breathing, a breath of fire. Inhale, and relax the breath, hands to the floor, face looks down, move the hips back, forward bending over the right leg again. Long, deep Ujjayi breath. As you're ready to come out, inhale, lift up away from the right leg. Relaxing breath, and right knee back to join the left. To the other side, the left leg comes forward, heel on the floor, sole of the foot coming down, open over the ankle. Start on the fingertips or up on the leg. Inhale, stretch up with the spine, chin up, lengthening the neck, opening the throat. And as you relax the breath, lengthen out over the left leg. You might find a difference on one side or the other. Just go easy, don't force anything. Lengthening through the hamstrings, the outer hip, and the lower back. Stay here to move into a lunge. Lift up away from the left leg. Let the left knee move forward as you drop the right thigh down toward the floor. You're going to come up with the spine. Fingers on the floor. You can have the hands on the knee. You might bring the arms up, shoulders back. So hips settling down, opening the front of the right thigh, spine stretching up. Long, deep breathing, a breath of fire. Inhale, relax the breath, hands to the floor, face looks down, move the hips back, forward bending over the left leg again. You're ready to come out. Inhale, lift up away from the left leg. Relaxing the breath. Left knee back to join the right. Hips onto the heels. Relaxing into child's pose. If there's too much strain here on the hips or knees or ankles, you can interlace the fingers and bring the forehead up onto the hand. Otherwise, hips settle back, lengthening through the spine. Arms stretch out as the shoulders and armpits relax toward the floor. If there's tension in the neck, you can gently turn the head and neck from side to side, touching one ear down toward the floor and then the opposite ear. You can stay here as long as you'd like. You can come back here anytime. As we move into a platform for a few breaths on the way to downward dog, you can modify working from the forearms or hands and knees. Arms out in front of you. Inhale up to the hands and knees. Exhale, chest lowering to the floor, hands palms down under the shoulders, elbows into the sides, curl the toes under. Inhale, push up. Relax the breath. If you're not comfortable holding yourself up here, you can bring the knees to the floor, bring the shoulders over the hands. You can push back for relief. The platform, try to bring the shoulders over the hands, straight flat back as you come to the balls of the feet or up into the toes. With the knees off of the floor, engaging the quadriceps, lifting the knees a little more. Strong pelvic tilt, bottom of the pelvis moving down, top of the pelvis up, flattening, lengthening the lower back. Helping to bring in the abdominal muscles to support the lower spine. With the hands and feet in place, lift the hips up and push back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Body forming an upside down V shape, hips are high. Heels pulling toward the floor, even if feet are not touched down. And then lift up with the backs of the knees. Strong pelvic tilt to flatten and lengthen the lower back. Thinking about turning the inner elbows inward and upward to flatten and drop the upper back. Helping you bring the head of the humerus more into the scapula to protect the shoulder. Inhale, lengthen a little more. Relax the breath, knees to the floor, hips to the heels. Relaxing back into child's pose for a few breaths. You can shrug the shoulders up and down around the ears. You can release out the wrists or neck. You can stay here as long as you like as we return to downward dog. You can modify, you can lift the hips up into Uttanasana. Returning to downward dog, arms out in front of you. Inhale up to the hands and knees. Exhale, chest lowering to the floor. Curl the toes under. Inhale, push up. And exhale, push back. Relaxing the breath. Long, deep breathing. If you're not comfortable, you can bring the knees to the floor or bring the hands and feet together. Go a little more from here, right heel toward the hip, and then right leg stretching up behind you. Level pelvis for the first few breaths as you push away from the hands and stretch up through the foot. As you push away and lengthen, right leg crosses over, right side of the pelvis is back, looking over the arm or up under the arm, looking up toward the ceiling. As the right side of the pelvis moves back, opening the left inner leg. Thinking about lifting and rotating the navel up toward the ceiling. Inhale, open a little more. Relax the breath and right foot to the floor. And to the other side, left heel toward the hip, left leg stretching up. Level pelvis as you push away from the hands and stretch up to the foot. As you push away and lengthen, you might cross the left leg over, the left side of the pelvis moving back. Face turning up to the ceiling, trying to lift and rotate the navel. Inhale, open a little more. Relax the breath and left foot to the floor. And bring the hands and feet together. You can walk them together, or you can lift the head, bend the knees, let the feet up toward the hands. Straightening at the backs of the legs, not important to reach the floor. If you're lightheaded or feeling pressure in your head, you come to standing or child's pose or wherever you need to be. Lengthening, relaxing forward. Arms can dangle or rest on the legs or hips or waist. You might want to roll out the shoulders and move the head and neck. Going more into the neck, you can bring the fingers to the back of the head, base of the skull, gently lengthen down as you tuck the chin toward the chest, bring the elbows toward each other. Lengthening at the back of the neck, broadening across the upper back. A little more into the upper back and shoulders. You might bring the arms up and over the head. Not if there's too much strain in the shoulders or spine or legs. As you're ready, hands come back to the floor. Widen the legs about 3 feet apart. Just come up into the fingertips or bring the hands up onto the legs or hips or waist if you're bending the knees to reach the floor. Bring the attention to the pelvis, working the pelvis like a teeter-totter to go into the inner legs and outer hips. As you drop the right side of the pelvis down into the center, right inner leg lengthens, left side of the pelvis lifts. And drop into the left side of the pelvis down into the center, left inner leg lengthens as the right side of the pelvis lifts. You can experiment with your foot placement, see what gives you the most freedom of movement. If you don't feel much movement, visualize what you're trying to do. Tilting the pelvis from side to side to open into the inner legs and outer hips. As you're ready, you can bring the pelvis back level. And lift the toes and balls of the feet, pivot to the left on the heels, walk the hands around, rotate the trunk around until you end up in a forward bend over the left leg. Back foot angled forward so the pelvis is level across the front. If you're bending the knee to reach the floor, come up with the fingertips or walk the hands up onto the legs or hips or waist. Back of the left knee moving toward the floor, trying to lift up with the back of the right knee. You can stay here. If you want to move into a spinal twist or overdo Trikonasana, revolving triangle, lift up a little bit away from the left leg. You can start by leaning over into the right arm and a hand. Back of the left hand against the back as the face turns up toward the ceiling, sliding the arm around the waist. For a little more, left arm stretches up. You should become more steady. Right hand comes closer to the left foot. Some of you reach over the ankle, right little finger on the floor by the left little toe. You're off balance, reposition your hand. Looking up with the left arm, down and across with the right arm, looking up toward the ceiling. A little more, turn the palm of the hand in the direction of the top of the head, then stretch the left arm out over the floor. Parallel over the floor as you rotate up toward the ceiling. Coming back, rotating back over the left leg, right hand comes over. Lift up away from the left leg, lift the toes, pivot to the center and all the way around. Lining yourself over the right leg in the forward bend. Bring the hands together, as close, the legs and feet as closely together as you need to for balance and grounding. Come up onto the fingers or up onto the leg if you're bending the knee. Back of the right knee moving down toward the floor, trying to lift the back of the left knee. Stay here, moving into the spinal twist, overdo Trikonasana, revolving triangle. Lift up away from the right leg. You can lean over to the left arm and hand as you look over the right shoulder. Back of the right hand against the back. From there you might stretch the arm up, broadening to the chest and back. As you become more steady, the left hand comes in closer to the foot, maybe reaching over the ankle. Just reposition your hand if you're feeling a little off balance. Side of the body, you can watch the hand as you stretch the arm out in front of you, parallel over the floor. Turn the face to look up toward the ceiling. Coming out, rotating back over the right leg. Left hand comes over. Lift up, lift the toes and balls of the feet, pivoting back to the center. If you want to go just a little more to the leg opening, slowly widening the leg. As you widen the leg, a number of you will bring the elbows and forearms to the floor. From there, not much further, to put the top of the head against the floor. Grounded through the legs, with the head on the floor, and want to go into the upper back and shoulders. Arms come up and over the head. Come out if there's too much strain in the shoulders or neck. Straight elbows, you might interlace the fingers and turn the palms outward, opening the shoulders a little more, dropping the hands more closely toward the floor. If the head solidly on the floor, some of you will bring the hands behind the head and neck, interlacing the fingers, supporting the head and neck and the cup of the hands, and her wrists against the other skull, pressing down into the floor with the elbows and forearms as you float up onto the balls of the feet, up to the tiptoes. You might feel the toes just lift a fraction inch off the floor. You might lift the legs up in the Shirshasana, headstand. An option. You can continue to work on bringing the head down to the floor, hips coming a little higher, put a little more weight into the elbows and forearms. Coming back out with the wide legs. Head comes up and legs back into an asana. Rolling out the shoulders, moving the head and neck. And you can bend the knees, lower the hips as you lift the head. Arms to the sides, palms out. And inhale, rise all the way up onto the balls of the feet. Relax the breath as you stretch up, move the arms back. Long, deep breathing. Inhale, stretch up. Arms stay up. Exhale, heels to the floor. Feet grounded. Inhale as you stretch up from the feet to the fingertips. Move the arms back. Lengthen the side bend to the right as you relax the breath. Face turns up to the left. Lengthening from the foot to the fingertips. Lengthening through both sides of the body. Inhale back up to the center. Relax the breath as you lengthen the side bend to the left, face turns up to the right. Lengthening from the foot to the fingertips, lengthening through both sides of the body. Inhale back up to the center. Exhale, arms come down, around behind the back, straight elbows, palms facing each other. You might interlace the fingers. Next inhalation, open the shoulders back, lift the arms, lift the head and chest. Relax the breath, bend from the hips as you lean out over the floor and then down over the legs. If this is too much strain, just bring the hand, drop the hands back to the floor. The breath and bring the hands back to the floor. Bend the knees and bring the hips down, coming into sitting. If you're comfortable here, you can bring the arms around the knees or shins. You can interlace or hook the finger. You can hold onto the knees if you need a little more space. And try to move the navel forward, shoulders back. There's a tendency to round forward. You can close the eyes down as you bring the attention to the breath. Inhaling into the belly, up into the chest and the lungs as you lift and expand the rib cage. Exhaling, pulling the navel in. Just gently rock from sitting bone to sitting bone a few times. Ground the sitting bones. To balance on the sitting bones, open the eyes to get your bearings. Lean back to the feet to come off of the floor. You can stay here, moving into a leg opening. You can start with bent knees, holding the knees as you widen. From there, you might hold under the backs of the legs, bracing yourself as you straighten. From there, you might reach up. If you're rounding the shoulders or bending the knees, let the hands come down. There's a tendency to hang off the leg, try to pull up, lift the chest and upper back. If you're steady, you can close the eyes. Long, deep breathing, a breath of fire, stretching up through the heels, trying to straighten the backs of the legs. Inhale. As you relax the breath and come back where you started, knees to the chest, heels to the hips, re-steadying yourself. Go a little more here, arms come under the legs, back to the knees, bracing yourself as you straighten. Hold there, you might begin to reach up toward your feet. Not important, try to stretch the spine up, straighten the leg. Over time, you might find these little lock points, these little projections on the inner elbows, might hook into somewhere on the outer leg, help you pull the thighs in a little more. So you might have to start out with the elbows down a little low. Forget about reaching the feet. You concentrate on straightening the leg, bring the thighs in toward the abdomen, looking up. Long, deep breathing, or breath of fire. Inhale. Exhale, lower the legs. Next inhalation, as you fill yourself with breath, stretch up with the arms, out through the legs. Relax the breath as you bend at the hips, leaning out over the floor, letting the arms relax down onto the floor or leg, moving the abdomen out over the thighs, the navel out over the thighs. You might be up into the straight arms, you might relax the elbows and forearms down, not so important. And just keep the backs of the knees pressing in toward the floor. Neck long, there's a tendency to drop the head down and round the upper back and neck. Head comes up as you move the navel out over the thighs. If you're rounding the shoulders, trying to find the feet, let the hands slide down the inner feet. Elbows and forearms relaxing toward the floor. You can shift from sitting bone to sitting bone a few times, grounding the sitting bones as you stretch out through the heels. Aware of those areas of tightness of holding, lower back, back to the legs. Each exhalation, relaxing, releasing a little more. Next inhalation, bring yourself up and out, switching up through the arms, out through the legs. Relax the breath, let the arms come down around behind the back, arms shoulder width apart, fingers point away from you as you lean back into the arms and hands. Shoulders opening as you lift the chest and upper back, just coming up into the fingers if they're straining the wrists. Toes forward, opening over the ankles, chin forward to protect the neck. You can stay here as you lift and open the chest and upper back. Lengthening the spine for a little more weight into the hands and heels as you lift the hips, those feet coming to the floor. Come out if there's too much strain, pull the body in place, you lift the hips and navel. If you're open in the neck, lift the chin, open the throat as the head relaxes back. Breathing through the nose, mouth is closed. Long, deep breathing, no breath of fire. tapping the chin of the chest or the hips down. And next inhalation, as you fill yourself with breath, stretch up with the arms out through the legs. Relax the breath, again lengthening out in the forward bend, Paschimottanasana. Long, deep Ujjayi breath, shoulders relax. Trying to move the navel out over the thighs. Long, deep Ujjayi breath, whispering in and out against the back of the throat. Listen to the breath, feel the breath. Next inhalation, again bring yourself up and out, stretching up through the arms, out through the legs. Relax the breath and bring them down. And come onto your back. Come onto your back and bring the knees up to the chest. Flattening the low back into the floor. And rock over the spine. And make circles with the knees a few times in each direction, massaging the low back into the floor. For a gentle spinal twist, you put the feet to the floor, heels in front of the hips, knees together, arms stretching out along the floor, stretching up from the shoulders. As the knees gently drop to the right, head turns to the left. As the head and knees come to the center, knees continue left, head right. And I work with the breath, inhaling head and knees to the center, exhaling in the opposite direction. Inhaling back to the center, exhaling to the other side. Hold on each side for a few breaths. Back to the center as you're ready. Knees to the chest, flattening the low back into the floor. Let the legs stretch up toward the ceiling. We'll start here with straight legs. If there's a little too much strain, you can bring the feet to the floor, heels in front of the hips. Just bring the hands to the sides, arms to the sides, palms down, bringing the thumb side of the hands up under the hip. Just a few breaths here. Inhale, widen the legs out into a V shape. Exhale together. Move on in place. Inhale, widen the legs out. Exhale together. Long breath through the nose. Too much strain. Bring the feet to the floor, heels in front of the hip. Inhale, knees fall wide. Exhale together. Time you widen the leg, relax the breath. You can brace the legs with the arms and the hands. You bring the legs together if there's too much strain. If you're comfortable, stretch out to the heels, point the toes down. You might let the hands rest lightly on the inner leg. Sometimes the legs get pulled up and the hips round off the floor. So pushing the legs away and down, move on in place, anchoring the inner leg. Long deep breathing or breath of fire. Together, knees back to the chest as you rock over the spine. Back to the center, again feet to the floor, heels in front of the hips, knees together, arms stretching out. Let the left leg stretch out along the floor. And start here with the bent right knee falling over the left thigh as the head turns to the right. A little more, step the right foot across, lengthening more over the outer hip and the IT band, the band that runs from your hip to your knee. Foot a little more, you can straighten the leg and reach all the way across with the right leg, bracing the leg against the arm and hand. You bend the knee if there's too much strain. You might let the big toe arch the foot, relax to the floor. From there, you might find the foot or leg and slide it up a little more, not so important. Head to the right, upper back, and back to the rib cage, relaxing toward the floor. Right side of the pelvis sitting back as you stretch out the heel, like putting more of the outer hip and upper gluteals. Ready to come out, inhale, right leg lifting toward the ceiling. Relax the breath as you bring the leg down. To the other side, right leg long. You can let the bend left knee fall over the right thigh. You might step the foot across. A little more, you can straighten the leg and reach it over. Embrace the leg, bend the knee if there's too much strain. Turn into the left, upper back, and back to the rib cage, relaxing toward the floor. Left side of the pelvis sitting back. Ready to come out, inhale, left leg lifting up toward the ceiling. Relax the breath as you bring the leg down. More knees up to the chest. From here we'll come up to sitting. You can rock up to sitting. You can roll over to one side and push up. You can push up with the elbows. Come up to sitting, we'll gather into a circle, so you shift around as you need to. You can leave your mat where it is, or just move it out of the way. Comfortable place for yourself, and sit long legs or crossed legs. Staying in touch with that light and energy as long as you can. Eyes closed down, spine straight and tall, shoulders relaxed back. Breathing fully, deeply, feeling yourself strong and steady, calm, clear, contented in this moment in time. Being aware of that prana, that energy, that life force, humming, buzzing, tingling through the body. Being aware of that light within you, connecting to spirit, spark to the divine, that goodness. With that light and that energy, trying to live the life you want to live, true to yourself, at peace with yourself and those around you as best you can. Next inhalation, stretch up with the arms, up with the spine. Relaxing the breath, hands come together at the heart center, a position of humbleness, reverence, thankfulness, as we acknowledge that creative spirit, that Holy Spirit around us, within us, in our neighbors and all those beings that share this earth with us. We close with one long Om and a chant of Om Shanti. Inhale. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.